Hello there, everybody. Hope you guys are having a great Monday evening. Thank you for joining me. It looks like we are live. This is my first time using the YouTube live stream option, but I do see some people, I believe. So welcome. I'm so glad you could join me. We continue to do our mindfulness group online for now. We don't have a permanent space to do it in, so we're going to continue to do the live stream for now, and hopefully we'll see how everything pans out with COVID and with a future space. But for now, here we are. I'm super happy to be doing this today, and hopefully we can reach some people that couldn't normally make it out. So I'm going to jump right in. If you have any questions about the meditation, about meditation practice, or even just random questions that I'll try to answer, you can post them in the YouTube chat here, and I will answer them at the end of the session. So you can post them if they come up whenever. So here we go. So I'm just going to start by talking a little bit about the kind of practice we do, since this is our first day back after the summer. So the essence of the meditation that we practice here is awareness. Awareness is highly underrated. Awareness is that aspect of our mind that knows, the knowing mind. So there's one part of our mind that thinks, tells stories, feels emotions, perceives through sight, through sound, smell, touch, taste. But there's another part of our mind, what I would call the big mind, not my own words. Many greater teachers than me have talked about kind of big mind. The big mind is just the mind that knows, that mind that knows things without the stories, without the added color. So just as you're hearing my voice right now, you know that I'm speaking before all the stories come in. You just know, right? There's just that knowing mind. It's the same mind that if you just look around the room you're in right now, you can just see. Some stories about what you're seeing might come afterwards, or descriptions of the objects, but that simple act of seeing, that knowing mind, kicks in first. And it's always present, it's always there. And the reason we work to build our awareness, or this knowing mind, this big mind, is that it's actually unaffected by all the things that happen. So whether things are good or bad, there's the knowing mind that just knows. And then the stories that come afterwards. So the more that we strengthen that awareness and that knowing mind, the more we're able to access just awareness itself, which is really the essence of every practice that we do. And then there's a great teacher, Mingyur Rinpoche, who talks about life being like a stock market, you know? Great things happen and terrible things happen. Great things happen, terrible things happen. And we tend to live at the tops and bottoms, you know? We have amazing experiences, and then we drop down to a terrible experience. Then we go up to an amazing experience and we drop down. But what awareness can do is help us to stay even through all of this up and down, without going up, without going down. It's not that you stop feeling things or feeling emotion or stop thinking. That's not possible. It's more that we strengthen this ability to be present in the moment right now. And though it might not seem like a lot, the more you strengthen that, the less phased by the ups and downs of life you will be. Obviously, things are very tough for a lot of people right now. We continue to deal with this world pandemic that most of us have never experienced something like this in our lifetimes. And it's tough, and there's no denying how difficult it is, but we can learn to be more present, more aware, and to find some peace of mind during it. So every practice we do, we try to touch base with awareness, and we can do this in meditation using basically any of our senses. So we can use sounds to meditate, just listening to sounds, bringing our mind back again and again to sound. We can meditate by looking what we see. We can meditate with sensations, like a body scan, so just feeling sensations in the body. And you can meditate even with taste and smell, which is a bit more difficult. But you can get incense going. You can eat and be mindful of what you're eating. What we're going to do tonight is open awareness practice. So we're actually not going to focus on any single thing. We're going to kind of just relax and rest and try to touch base with awareness. So when we practice open awareness, it can be a little trickier than some of the other meditations because we're not focusing on a single thing. We're just going to sit back with a big open mind and just watch things as they come and go. Thoughts, emotions, the things we see, the sounds we hear, sensations in the body. Without pushing anything away, we're going to sit and rest in our own awareness. So the main practice is really to come back again and again from distraction to the present moment. And it's important to remember that you're not actually able to clear your mind or stop thinking or stop emotions. That's not the aim of meditation, and it's not possible. When you stop thinking, when you stop feeling, you're a corpse, right? That is our live brain. So we're not trying to repress that or push anything away at all. The action is whenever we're distracted, we just gently bring ourselves back without pushing the distraction away, but also without grabbing onto it. So usually we have a tendency to grab thoughts or things we want, good thoughts, good things, and we tend to push away negative thoughts, things we don't want. And often we want what we don't have, and we don't want what we do have. So we're taking a third option here, which is just to let those things completely be, let them arise and pass. So I'll guide us heavily through it because it can be a little difficult to get the hang of this kind of meditation at first, but it's a really great tool. And in the coming weeks, we'll do more object-based ones like body sensations and sound and all sorts of other things to play with awareness. But it's nice to start with open awareness because it's a really great practice for being present right now in this moment. So just some meditation basics. You can find a seat now comfortably. You can sit in a chair. You can sit in a cushion. You can lie down, maybe, if you don't think you'll fall asleep. It's good to keep your back as straight as you can keep it for your body. So we don't want to be so straight and rigid that we're uncomfortable, but we don't want to be really loosey-goosey because our posture actually affects our mind. So if we're kind of sagged in, we'll have a dull mind. If we're really uptight, then we're going to have a tight mind. So we want to find this balance between looseness and tightness. So a good friend talked about posture as being, you can think of your spine like a hose that's filled with water. So instead of like a rod, a metal rod in your back, it's like it's firm and supple and flexible. So finding your seat, having a nice straight back. If you're sitting on the ground, you can sit cross-legged, or you can sit on your knees if that's comfortable for you. If you're seated in a chair, try to have your feet touching the ground. So you can put cushions under your feet. If your feet can't quite touch the ground, that's helpful. For your hands, you can just put them gently on your knees if that's comfortable. You can also do it's called the mudra of meditative equipoise, which is just the left hand cups the right hand and the thumbs touch. And that's it. And then you can put that in your lap about 4 finger widths below your navel. So either that or just hands resting on your knees. Either one is great. For the eyes, I'm actually going to suggest you keep your eyes open, especially for this open awareness practice, because we're really trying not to block anything out. And actually, in general, I would suggest you meditate with your eyes open, which will be a surprise to some people. But the thing is with mindfulness and meditation, all this stuff that we practice on the cushion, we want to be able to bring it back into our real lives. So the more you meditate, the more you come to the cushion and practice, you'll be able to access more peace and more calm and less reactivity. But it's not really worth much if we're not able to do it off the cushion. So by practicing with our eyes open, we're just making that transition a little easier because we can't just walk around with our eyes closed all day. We'll run into stuff and won't be able to drive our cars or cook meals. So keeping the eyes open while you meditate on your cushion will make it easier to access this mindfulness and awareness off the cushion. So just a nice relaxed but straight back. hands on the knees or in the mudra equipose, meditative equipose, eyes open if you can. Now, if you're really distracted and can't deal with it, just close your eyes and you can open them as you wish. For the gaze itself, you could just gently stare straight ahead. Try not to focus on anything in particular, blinking as you need to. You can also try having your gaze downwards, just gently looking at the desk or table or whatever is in front of you. And you can even look up too. And you can even change your eye position. So don't stress too much about your eyes. And that's about it. So unless there's any questions, I will get us started. So now that we're here, just take a moment to really arrive in your seat in this moment. Take a moment to feel the seat or cushion beneath you. See if you can feel the space around you in whatever space you're in right now. The literal space, the space and air between you and other things. And just taking a moment to gently put aside whatever has come with you to this meditation this evening. It's a busy, chaotic world right now, and we all have a lot of worries and cares. And we don't have to push those away or really do anything with them in particular, but maybe try to embrace this feeling of just letting those things be. So neither pushing away or grasping them, just gently letting whatever issues came with you to the cushion today, just let them be. They're not going anywhere. And as we start, you might want to set a motivation or intention for your practice tonight. It's always a nice way to start. Could be something very simple like, may this meditation bring me some calm, some peace. May it help me be more present in my life. You can even make it broader. May whatever peace or stability I gain in this meditation help me be of benefit to others. Any of those kinds of things. Taking a moment to set that motivation or intention. And just letting that go as well. And as we get started, maybe start to direct your attention just gently to your feet for a moment. Noticing any sensation in the feet, warmth, coolness, tingling, or even an absence of sensation. Just noticing whatever's going on there without doing anything with it. You can gently bring your attention now to your hands. Feeling the tops of the hands, the palms of the hands, and taking a moment now to feel each finger, from your pinky finger to your thumb. Again, maybe feeling something, maybe not. Trying as much as possible just to notice the sensations. Stories might come up about them, thoughts about the way they feel, and those are perfectly okay. But as much as possible, try to bring your attention just to the bare sensation you feel in your hands. So throughout the meditation, if you ever feel overwhelmed or there's just too much activity in your mind or whatever is happening, if you just aren't having a very good time, you can always bring your attention back to your feet and hands. So you can treat these as your anchor, and they can be very useful off the cushion too, just bringing gentle attention to the feet and hands. Now see if you can bring your attention to the space in the room around you. Actual space. In that space, there might be sound. There may be things you can see. There may be sensation like air or heat or coolness. There may be smell. There may even be taste. And as you notice the space around you, you might have thoughts about that space or feelings about that space. All of these things can happen within mind. And right now, what we can do is just kind of sit on the sidelines. So you can imagine it's like sitting on the bank of a river. And the river is like the flow of all of your experience of thoughts, emotions, anything your sense organs pick up. And you're actually sitting outside of the river, just watching it. And this act of watching takes very little energy. As little energy as it takes to listen to my voice right now, that's all you need. And whenever you get caught by something, thoughts or anything that comes up, you may lose awareness, you may be distracted, get in the river, get a little wet. Then when you realize you're distracted, then you've come back to awareness. It's really that simple. So we don't need to do anything special. We don't need to have some big meditative experience. We don't need to trance out or have our minds go blank. All we need to do is just come back to this simple act of gentle, relaxed intention and attention. And we actually don't really need to do much with the mind here. So our mind may move to sight or sound or anything that's available. And we don't need to direct our mind and tell it where to go. It's as if we have the small mind, not in a derogatory sense, but this mind that kind of wanders and goes from thing to thing. But it's contained within this big, expansive, relaxed awareness your big mind. So whenever distraction occurs, whenever you lose awareness and you notice, then you're back in it. You're back on the side of the river watching. And whenever you do notice you're distracted, try to use that moment as a success, which might sound strange, but the moment you notice you're distracted is a moment of awareness. It's a moment where you come back to just this practice of very simple presence. And the act of meditation is really just coming back again and again to this act of awareness. You can think of your mind as being as big and vast as the open sky. And anything that arises in mind, whether it's thoughts, emotions, physical sensations, sounds, whatever occurs, is just like a cloud that appears in this big open sky. The clouds don't need to go anywhere. They appear, they disappear all on their own. And the clouds don't change the nature of the sky itself. The sky is open and vast and can contain all these things, and whatever comes up, the sky isn't defined by it. As much as possible, just letting go of thoughts of the past, letting go of thoughts of the future, trying to let go even of thoughts of the present moment, trying to let go of analyzing our experience, trying to let go of even meditating. just relaxing naturally in this very moment, just being. That's it. And now, maybe gently bringing your awareness and attention back to your body, to the chair or cushion beneath you, your hands and feet. And as we bring our meditation to a close, maybe taking a moment to do this kind of classical practice we do called dedicating the merit. It's just a very simple thought of whatever benefit I received from this meditation, this practice tonight, may it be shared with all other people who need it. So that's it. Really, when we sit down to meditate, the more we can let go of expectation, relax, just rest in this very simple awareness, the more benefit we'll get from it. So the less we do, the less we interfere, the more we'll be able to access the sense of calm and peace. So I will talk a little bit about applying some of this to daily life. If you had any questions that came up during the meditation, you can put them in the little chat box on the right that I think is appearing. And I'll answer them at the end if there are any. So if you're starting a meditation practice, if you don't have one currently, it's really good to try to do short times frequently rather than like one long session once a week or something like that. So great to see you too, Sarah. So if you meditate for 5 minutes every day, that's better than meditating for 1 hour once a week. And most people can find 5 minutes. So just 5 minutes of just sitting, just like we did tonight, sitting on that edge of the riverbank, just watching experience, just that 5 minutes a day is fantastic. And if you can do more, if you have more time, that's great too. And a good kind of measure of how long is good for you, well, see how long you can last before you get really frustrated and annoyed. And then you can add like 7% onto that time or 10%. So say you have 20 minutes available to you and that 20 minutes is good. And then near the end of the 20 minutes, you start to get frustrated and annoyed. Then just add another 2 minutes on, 22 minutes. And that's a good way to figure out a good amount of time for you right now. And again, 5 minutes, anyone can find it. And also whenever you want to and can. So you don't have to meditate at night. You don't have to meditate in the morning. It's really just finding a spot that works for you. So if you're a morning person, you might prefer in the morning. If you're more of a night owl, you might prefer at night. But just play with it and see what works. And then another part of the practice is kind of this informal practice. And that's bringing our practice off the cushion into everyday life, bringing more mindfulness and awareness to everyday life. Because eventually we want to be able to bring awareness to most things that we do. So we're less reactive and less pulled around by the things that happen around us and by our emotions and reactions. So a nice way to start to practice informally is to find something that you do often during the day. So it could be washing your hands or using hand sanitizer right now. It could be going to the bathroom. And whenever you do that, you pick one thing, or it could be brushing your teeth. So you brush your teeth 2 or 3 times a day. Whenever you do that, just take a moment to see if you're aware and present. And if you're asking yourself, am I aware? Then you are. And it's that simple. Another way you can do this to be reminded throughout the day is to say every time you see a certain thing, like maybe you live around a lot of trees, every time I see a tree, I'll come back to awareness. Or if you wear jewelry like a bracelet or a ring, every time you play with your ring or notice your ring, you could just take a moment to check in with awareness. And it's not actually adding anything to your day. So the 5 minutes or whatever you do for formal meditation, the informal practice, it's all stuff you're already doing. So it's just bringing a bit of attention and awareness to it. And that's it. So thank you everyone for joining me tonight. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you ever have questions, you can shoot me a message. I'm happy to answer them. I'll be doing this every Sunday night at 7:30. I'll schedule them ahead of time. So you can, when you see them scheduled, you'll see a little bell you can click to be reminded when it goes live. And you can also subscribe to the YouTube channel. And if you subscribe to the YouTube channel, you'll get notifications when there's like an hour before it goes live and then 10 minutes before it goes live. So thank you for joining me tonight. I wish you all a happy evening.